Update. Husband demanded I change clothes multiple times for our date night, then stormed out when I refused after the third time. Original post. So my husband Mark, 37 male, and I, 34 female, have been having a rough few years. We got married in the fall of 2019 after being together for 5 years before then. And of course, a few months after that, the pandemic hit. I had the misfortune of getting a pretty bad case of COVID near the beginning of the pandemic and was hospitalized for 2 weeks, which turned into long COVID. I wasn't completely disabled, but dealt with a lot of the typical symptoms. Extreme fatigue, brain fog, reduced immune system, generally resulting in several bad infections, etc. I didn't lose my job, but did have to take intermittent FMLA, which meant a lot of time without pay. And we racked up $20,000 in debt between the medical bills not covered by insurance and loss of some of my income. Although I tried to be mindful of my eating, I also gained 45 pounds thanks to being on antidepressants, several rounds of steroid medication, and not being able to exercise. Through all this, Mark was incredibly loving and supportive. He never said a bad word about my weight, lack of energy, or inability to contribute financially at the same level as before. Finally, last summer, I started to feel a lot better, and most of the long COVID symptoms subsided. I was able to return to work full-time and had energy to work out again. In the past year, we had paid off all our debts and rebuilt our emergency fund, and I have lost 35 of the 45 pounds I gained. The doctor says this is a good place for me to end up as I was borderline underweight before, and I'm now on a slimmer side of a normal/healthy weight. Mark and I hadn't been having many date nights since we got married, between the pandemic, my illness, and then for the past year working to get our finances in order. However, to celebrate my birthday, we decided to have dinner at an upscale bistro, and then go see the Barbie movie which he actually suggested. This was last Saturday. My actual birthday wasn't for a few more days, but we wanted to go on a weekend. I was excited to dress up, as most of my clothes had gotten baggy and drab during my illness and weight gain. I was finally feeling comfortable in my own skin again. So I decided to go full Barbiecore, pink sleeveless dress, fitted at a top and then flared out, and pink kitten heels with a matching bag. The money for the outfit came from a birthday check from my mom, and she insisted that I spend it on something fun. When I put on the outfit, I felt really pretty for the first time in a long time. Unfortunately and surprisingly, Mark reacted badly to it. He said it looked slutty and attention-seeking, and essentially accused me of trying to get the attention of other men, and that I should cover up more. I protested, because first of all, we were going to a restaurant, table for two, and a movie theater. When exactly was I going to be interacting socially with other men? Also, the outfit was quite dramatic and striking, but it wasn't revealing. Sleeveless dresses are pretty normal date night wear for a hot summer day, and it wasn't low-cut, neckline was at the collarbone, and was on the longer side, calf length. But I didn't want to argue, so I put on a black knit cardigan over the dress. Nope, still no dice for Mark. He said it was still attention-seeking. At this point, I really wanted to get going and not miss our reservation, so I gave up on the dress and changed into fitted jeans and a pastel pink tunic top, not fitted. Nope, said Mark. I still looked like I was trying to attract other men. So I threw on a hoodie over the top, but then he said I looked sloppy. I was really exasperated by this point and asked if he just wanted to come to my closet to pick an outfit that was acceptable, and he started yelling that I was too stupid to even understand that I was disrespecting him and that I didn't know how to dress myself. Then he said he was going for a drive and going to the movie without me. The tickets were on his phone. He came home after midnight, said he didn't want to talk, and that he was going to sleep in the guest room. He has barely spoken to me since. My actual birthday was a couple days ago and he didn't even acknowledge it. I begged him to please talk to me and tell me what was really going on, but he said he was still too angry. So am I the a-hole for not trying to change my clothes yet again before our date for my birthday? I still don't know what he was really upset about or what sort of outfit would have been acceptable. And no, he never once tried to make rules about what I could wear or commented at all on my clothes, except to tell me that I looked nice or that he liked certain colors on me. This really came out of nowhere as far as I can tell. And again, he selected a Barbie movie and planned a date, so it's not like I was strong-arming him into plans he didn't want. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Something deeper is going on. Time to have a serious discussion about where you guys are in this relationship. No matter how much my wife are fighting, it would be a truce on a birthday. The odd thing is we haven't been fighting at all. Not a bit. He was so incredibly loving and supportive while I was ill. And over the past year, we have gradually gotten back to a more even dynamic, as I was feeling better and better. And until a week ago, I would have said our relationship was stronger than ever for having gotten through the really tough times. Snapping at me over clothes and then digging in and blowing up both my birthday dinner and my actual birthday definitely came out of nowhere. He was incredibly loving when you were feeling sick, overweight, unattractive, and basically housebound. He had locked you away in his goodie box, away from other boys that might want to oogle his favorite toy. Now you're gorgeous, confident, feeling good in your body and about yourself. He doesn't want the chance of you figuring out that you could maybe do better, so he got what he wanted. You're back put away in his goodie box and questioning what you did wrong. What you really need to do is get yourself out of the box. You aren't his property. You aren't a reflection of anyone other than yourself. You are strong and confident, and while you love him and are grateful for his support, you deserve better than an insecure little boy who wants to control you and shut you away. A gilded cage is still a cage. Is he cheating on you? Sounds like he was trying to get out the door by himself. Cheating hadn't crossed my mind, but it was odd how he suddenly wanted to pick a fight and then bolt out the door without me. The funny thing is, all day before he saw my outfit, he had been telling me how much he was looking forward to going out and celebrating my birthday with me. That's actually a ploy used so you don't get suspicious when a fight starts and they storm out. A man want to see it alone? Not likely. He sounds like an abuser. You just haven't noticed before now because you've been right where he wants you since getting married. At home, under his thumb, and you gained weight to boot. So he didn't have to worry about you attracting other men. Now for the update. I did end up going to my mom's place for the weekend last weekend and had a nice girls' weekend with my mom and sister. We did see the movie on Saturday and got to wear my original planned outfit, and then got brunch and had a fun salon outing on Sunday. Late afternoon Sunday, I texted Mark, my husband, to say I was coming home in a couple hours and that I hoped he would be ready to talk then. That I would gladly hear him out regarding anything that had been upsetting him, but I really couldn't take the silent treatment anymore, as it had been over a week by then. He just texted back, okay. We did talk after I got home, and boy, it was a doozy. It turns out Mark has been building resentment for years, since I first got sick with COVID nearly 3.5 years ago. Not so much in the first few months, but when it was clear my illness had turned into long COVID and an ongoing disability, he started to feel very put upon due to my not being able to generate as much income, not being able to do my share of the housework and cooking, etc. He put up a good front because he knew it wouldn't be fair to take it out on me, especially when he could see I was doing my best to get better and to do what I could on my better days, and ultimately got very burned out. And then after a year or so, started seeking outlets, as in other women. He said at first it was just basically anonymous online thing because the pandemic was still raging. But by early last year, he had formed an online emotional connection with someone in the area, whom he eventually met in person for a physical affair. Someone he is in love with now and still seeing. He said he has been trying to figure out what to do, especially as I have been getting better over the past year, lost most of the weight I gained, got back to fulfilling all my responsibilities at work and the home, etc. But when I walked out in my Barbie-core dress, expecting to have a romantic birthday date, he just couldn't do it. He couldn't go out and pretend to love me and be celebratory when he wanted to be with someone else. So he picked a fight, one I couldn't win. And then yes, when he walked out, he did take his affair partner to dinner and a movie instead. The thing is, I do understand him seeking some kind of an outlet. I was sick for years. And between physical ailments and brain fog, I wasn't able to participate consistently in a marriage on any level, not as an equal partner. We'd only been married a few months when I got sick. So it's not even like we had a lot of shared history to fall back on. I'm sure I must have felt exhausted, stressed, and lonely, especially as it wasn't certain I would be able to recover at all. I asked if he would consider marriage counseling and recommitting to our marriage, but he said sadly that his heart had moved on. He did say he was so sorry, that he never meant to fall in love with someone else and was just trying to be less lonely. And that I didn't deserve this, that I especially didn't deserve the way he treated me a couple weeks ago. So I guess divorce it is. I don't expect it will be very dramatic. We've been talking a lot over the past week. No more silent treatment, to figure out how to divide stuff, and to try to make things cordial. In the end, I don't even think he's an a-hole. Maybe for the way he acted surrounding my birthday, but overall, I think he is just a human being who eventually broke down from stress and loneliness. I do wish him well, and I'm also grateful that at least I am healthy again for whatever life has next in store for me. He's an a-hole, sweetie. He lied to you for like 3 years. You dodged a bullet. Praise Barbie that she removed this man from your life. Yeah, I do hate the lying aspect of it. He says he didn't want to cause me more stress because that could negatively impact my recovery. And he thought it would be more of an a-hole move to leave me while I was sick and unable to fully care for myself physically and financially. I know on some level that's just an excuse for cheating. But it's easier for me not to carry a lot of anger and to try to focus on getting through the divorce and figuring out what's next for me. Please get yourself some counseling or therapy because thinking it's understandable to be cheated on and lied to and potentially exposed to STDs because you are seriously ill is, wow. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, let alone someone I loved, let alone myself. He is a piece of turd. You deserve better than to empathize with a piece of turd, for real. Thank you. You and the other kind commenters here are definitely helping me to see that this behavior isn't understandable or acceptable. Counseling will definitely be part of my divorce recovery. Definitely get yourself tested for STDs as well, just to make sure it didn't give you anything from his infidelity. Your sexual health is just as important as your emotional health. My annual GYN checkup is next week, so I'll be sure to get tested then. Unfortunately, we were still sleeping together several times a week. Guess he was faking his attraction, or maybe I was just there. Hopefully nothing has gotten transmitted. Please do not let this guy convince you he is not the bad guy here. In sickness and in health are part of the vows for a reason. If the situation was reversed, I've no doubt he would have expected twice as much support out of you. You don't cheat. He is 100% the a-hole across the board and has been for many years. Please do not take the blame for this. I wish you peace and healing as you move forward. Thank you. He told me that I couldn't be certain as to what I would have done if the situation had been reversed. I really don't think I would have cheated though. I might have leaned on friends and family, tried to get some help if I felt overwhelmed with caretaking, got therapy, etc. But I can't imagine cheating. Especially not physically, not making deliberate plans to meet someone in person after meeting online. Anyway, he wasn't meant to be my person for life. Clearly a fair weather partner, and not someone who would truly honor all the vows. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to take back my husband who left me during a manic episode? Over 2 months ago, my husband told me that he doesn't need me anymore and left me. He claimed he only dated me and married me because he was lonely, had low self-confidence, and didn't really have friends. But now that he has a good social circle and high self-confidence, he doesn't need me anymore, and I'm only pulling him back. I was absolutely heartbroken and went through a really hard time. I'm still not okay, but I'm doing a bit better now, and I'm trying to focus on self-improvement. I made a plan to run a marathon next year and to move to a better country, which my husband was always against, and those two things are what holding me together basically. However, after not talking to me at all for 2 months, my husband suddenly wants me back. He says that he went through a manic episode and that's why he behaved like that. He is seeing a psychiatrist now and claims that he loves me and I'm his everything. I don't know enough about manic episodes to be able to tell if he is telling the truth or just realized life is not better without me, but I don't care. This past 2 months were incredibly hard on me and I just can't do this. Most of my friends agree with me, but 2 of them told me that we were perfect together. And if he had a manic episode, that means he was not in control of his actions. That I should not throw away our future because of his mental health issues. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to take him back? Now for the comments. It doesn't matter what he wants anymore. All bets are off. Focus on what you want. Your 2 friends that said you were perfect together, were they there with you every day you cried? Were they the ones that felt the heartbreak and betrayal? They can buzz right off. Those 2 friends always held our relationship as the gold standard. They had a few bad relationships, had been cheated on, but said that they are not giving up because they see how great my relationship with my husband is, how well he treats me, and they want that for themselves too. When my husband left me, it kind of took away their hope too, I think. It's like they were a bit heartbroken too. I guess with this explanation, they got their hope back. But I'm too scared to even hope. I can't go through this again. Info. Is he on a proper treatment plan for his manic episodes? Is he happy for you to meet his doctors, therapists, etc. so that they can talk you through his diagnosis and what it means for you? Would he consider taking it very slowly and starting your relationship over rather than hopping straight back into marriage? And even if all of the above are true, have you moved on past the point of no return? While he may have been genuinely out of his mind when he left you, it doesn't mean you have to take him back. It's entirely possible that time apart had led you to reassess what you want from life, and it's valid. If you don't want to get back with him for any reason, that's sad, but it doesn't make you a bad person. Yeah, OP's not the a-hole either way. If she still wants him back and is willing to work with his illness, that's okay. Won't be easy, but could work. If she wants to move on, that's also totally okay. If she found out in another way that he was sick and decided to leave him, then she would be the a-hole. But after getting hurt like that, can't really blame her. I suffer from mental illness. I always say that mental illness can explain our actions, but it doesn't excuse it. You were horribly hurt by his abandonment. If you got back together, you would live in fear that he would have another manic break, and it may be too much to handle living with that. And sickness and health doesn't mean someone gets to walk all over you with no consequences. Do what's best for you. Mental illness can explain our actions, but it doesn't excuse it. Perfect. I'm bipolar, and I've lost really strong friendships because of manic episodes that spiraled out of control. That's part of living with mental illness. Whether or not I was in control, it doesn't matter. My actions and/or words affected people, and that has consequences. I can't control other people, but I'm also not entitled to their suffering through my bad moments just because I like the good ones.